is Corey's singing moment, and welcome to Strictly Business. I'm Alfonso Santinello. You just heard the one and only Corey Vanaramo belting out her tune, or her pre-show tune, I guess. And we have Michael Williams here. He is going to be hosting Business Radio, which is the up-and-coming show.
You're looking at the wrong camera.
Which camera am I supposed to look at? Good.
That one.
Okay,
that camera's all for me.
Yes, he is the host of Business Radio.
I'm learning how to use the camera for the first time.
I promise you, he maybe is a little bit of an idiot, but stay tuned. The show launches in the fall, so stay tuned for that. Michael, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
So today, Corey's first time. She's gonna see the new leeway between introducing the topics instead of just jumping right in like we normally do. So what I do is I'll just go over the 4 topics we go over, and then that way, let's just jump right into the intro. First, we're going to talk about edible arrangements get sued. Then we're going to talk about Google's new face recognition company that they bought over. The maker of BlackBerry lays off 2,000 people. And then a pair of brothers and sisters, they sold their 60-year-old web company for $100 million. So first up, edible arrangements get sued. It's pretty much like a franchise versus franchisee kind of thing, where they claim edible arrangements imposed system-wide changes that violated its agreement.
Right. So you have the franchisor, which is the person who actually licenses the franchise, which you call a franchise. The different franchises are called franchisees, and they're upset that edible arrangements is imposing fees and other unilateral changes without the consent of the different franchises. So they formed an independent franchise association where all the different franchises are part of, and they're filing a lawsuit in the federal court, District of Connecticut.
Yeah, they're saying that they violated Connecticut unfair trade practices.
They make good fruit.
I mean, it's edible, so.
I had to throw that out there. Their stuff it's a little expensive, but it's good.
Al actually always orders it for other people and ends up eating him himself, so he's a little problem with that.
Al sends edible arrangements to himself.
The ones with double chipped in chocolate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, though, a lot of the legal correspondents are saying this is going to be sort of a test case to see how much a franchisor can change their terms and their fees without actually changing their franchise agreement. And this case could have implications in the long run for franchisor-franchisee relationships.
Yeah, I mean, franchises are very desirable for people who are looking to start a business who don't really know what they want to get into. I mean, they can get funding from the franchisor, and the marketing materials are already out there, the product's already there, so it will be interesting to see how this pans out and if people still favor, joining into a franchise.
Right, and there's a lot of brand recognition with that, and one of the franchisees actually made a comment saying essentially, hey, there's 3 legs to a franchise. You have the franchisees, you have the franchisors, and you have the vendors. And they're saying, hey, if the franchisees aren't happy, then you're gonna ruin this brand. The brand's gonna suffer because of that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see the result of this and if they can work it out and find an amicable solution.
Yeah, I mean, the franchisor takes a lot of risks letting other people run their similar business because they run the risk of tarnishing their brand.
Yeah. Next up, Google's new face recognition tech could change the web's feature. This is from. Can I introduce?
Sorry.
Can I introduce PittPatt, please? Yes, it really is called PittPatt. We're not making up words here. This is an article from Fast Company I found. They just bought a high-tech unit called PittPatt, and it's going to be built into Google products, and apparently could change the way the web would work. Face recognition, so think Facebook, when you upload a photo, automatically face recognition your friends. Something like that with Google, everything's on the web, so that you might find pictures you don't even know. So if you did that porn years ago and it's up on video, you're gonna get photo recognition from it.
Facebook already has some of this technology built into their other products, such as Picasa. If you tag someone once, it'll sort of recognize that person and then tag them automatically in all the pictures. But this software is really interesting because it allows you to actually recognize faces from 2 different angles, up to a 17-degree angle or up to like a 33-degree angle, which is pretty impressive. So if you're like this or doing some weird pose, the actual software can recognize the geometry of your face and correlate it to an individual person once they have that data, which is pretty incredible.
There's just one flaw in this: identical twins.
Right.
Google, I have an identical twin brother. We can be your dummies for this little thing that he's the dummy.
Literally.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's definitely going to change the web. but it is going to run into the chances are, people that do look alike. Maybe there's, and I'm not saying just twins. There are those people that like twins on the other side of the world kind of thing.
Like me and Madonna.
But
or Corey and you super.
So are you saying you're 50 years old?
No, some people say I look like Madonna.
I think you look
And
like
Sarah
Linda.
Jessica Parker.
You heard her sing. You
Oh,
definitely
don't look like
Oh.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Ugh.
No, it just proves that the competition between Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google Plus. I mean, it's just the competition is getting fierce out there.
is. Analysts are actually saying that this could be Google's gem to combat Facebook. So Facebook has this amazing social graph, just showing you how people are interacting and relating how people interact with one another. And if Facebook can actually take this and understand who's in pictures with one another, analyze it, and then generate sort of this graph of, hey, who are you in the most pictures with? They'll understand who your closest friends are, who you interact with the most is, and they can generate a very similar social graph like Facebook can without actually copying Facebook, which has been the trouble since recently, because Facebook has a patent on that kind of stuff.
They have a patent on the face recognition?
The social graph technology. So how they develop who knows who
knows who and who should be friends with who. And
exactly.
Okay. Well, because with Facebook's photo recognition thing, a handful of photos I was tagged in, but it was Sal. I got tagged in my brother's photos. So, and I thought someone was doing it as a joke, but then it was like different albums were doing it. I'm just like,
so you don't look at the specifics when they're trying to tag it for you. They can tag other people that they think have the same color hair or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't always work.
Yeah, and it's bad because I don't want people to assume that I'm out on a Tuesday night getting.
Okay, well we can just separate that.
Okay.
Yeah, but one of the things I want to throw out there is they're saying if they integrate it into the phone, when you take a picture of someone on your Android phone, it's automatically going to pop up with your friends, Google Plus profiles with their information, so you can literally take that picture and you're going to see boxes around their faces saying, hey, here's the Google Plus profile, interact with them there, trying to synchronize all the different communication methods just from a picture, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
So Michael's the only one that's prepared for today's episode. Next up, the maker of Blackberries lays off 2,000 people. RIM or RIM? How do they say it? RIM?
RIM, yeah. RIM.
Research in Motion is cutting 2,000 jobs, which is 10% of their workforce, which I kind of don't get because their sales are still growing, basically not because of the U.S. sales, but the overseas sales that BlackBerry's having. But they're still laying off people. So I don't know if they're just trying to make a bigger profit out of this, but...
Popularity of the BlackBerry has decreased. It's used more in the corporate world.
Yep.
However, from a marketing standpoint towards the rest of the people in the world, I think the popularity has decreased and the heavy users just remain in the corporate world. I have a BlackBerry. It's not good for browsing. I got it because it had the screen and the keyboard. So it allowed me to not go into the touch screen world, but and it also let me stay with my Verizon phone cable. What crap?
Carrier. But yeah, it's. I used to have one. No, I'm not gonna edit that out. I used to have a BlackBerry, so I mean, I really didn't like the browser or anything like that. But my cousin is a lawyer in Hartford, and the firm gave him all Blackberries.
Right.
In September, when the iPhone 5 comes out, they're all switching over to iPhones. So the business world is now adapting to, the smartphones or the iPhones or the Droids and getting rid of the BlackBerry because, my cousin is not even a fan of it. He goes, well, why would you give lawyers an iPhone? They're not going to get any work done because they're going to be playing with their phone instead of, BBN and whatever each other. And
part of the reason why BlackBerry has been so popular in the corporate world, because of the BlackBerry management. So BlackBerry allows.
I thought Corey got a restate.
Yeah. Must be Corey's rubbing off me. So BlackBerry allows corporations to manage individual phones, be it for different encryption mechanisms, for system-wide policies, and right now Android and Apple don't really have that capacity. It's really only Microsoft and RIM who offer products allowing corporate-wide policies to be instituted. Furthermore, BlackBerry really didn't keep up on their market research. They didn't realize people were going to want more powerful phones, wider screens. So that was sort of a setback and part of the reason why their products had more costs and more delays affiliated with them. They had to go back and say, oh crap, we need faster processors. Throw away the old one we just developed. Let's get a new one going on. So that's part of the reason for their decline. Interestingly enough, the article was also talking about the COO is going out for some medical leave, and they're actually splitting up the chief operating officer position into 2 distinct capacities, and actually assigning 2 people to take the role of one. So they're not only reshuffling their employees, but they're also reshuffling their executive level management to sort of try to take on this new problem, all these new market challenges they're facing.
So they're going through a complete reorg.
Yeah, I don't see them really making a comeback personally, and no offense to BlackBerry, but I mean it's just it's what it is. I mean, who knows? Maybe Android or iPhone or someone else will buy them out and kind of convert them to.
You don't know if there'll be a partnership along the way, or
that's what happened with
Sprint
the
Nextel.
walkie-talkie. Yeah, exactly. Well, now not Sprint Nextel, the walkie-talkie ones.
Isn't that Nextel?
Yeah, Nextel.
Oh, that's what it was? Yeah, well, they're shuffling out of their picture now. Anyway, all right, last topic, siblings sell their 6-year-old company for $100 million. So these 2 kids 6 years ago started this website called myyearbook.com, Catherine Cook and David Cook. Basically because they're going through this is like one of those aha moments. It's like, crap, I could have thought of that and I didn't. Looking through the yearbook and try to figure out a way to how to make him online so they can go and connect with the people they went to school with. Well, in the 6 years, they made a crap load of money, and now this Latino social network called, wait for it, Que Pasa, is buying them out for $100 million.
That means what's up if you're not familiar with Spanish.
But it's exactly what I said. It's one of those like moments where it's just like, crap, like, I could have thought of something so as simple as that and then made it into this really big empire in a way. And they're still selling it where it's still growing. They have over 200 million users, active users, not just users, active users, which is hard to do for a social site. So they've done very well for themselves.
And Corey was 15. She was a painter in nails. I was in tree forts, and these guys are out there.
She was making videos at 15 though.
15, 16-year-old brother.
PG videos, though. Let me just say PG videos.
I did. I made a nail. How to take out nail polish.
Yes, you did.
Is this on YouTube? Can the viewers go watch that? Or?
No, but I think
It's on VHS.
I think it is on VHS. You need a VCR. I think it's important to make note these projects that you get into at school, even in when you further your education in college, you get into these projects where you have to write a business plan or you have to come up with a marketing plan. And I think at the time you take them for granted because you're like, oh, it's due next week. But it makes you think. It makes you, have these type of epiphanies that you're going to take something and that you get once every year when you graduate, and everybody writes in it, "Too cool to be friends forever," or whatever you want to say. And and you take it for granted, and you just throw your report.
I wonder if
into the
this is going to 10, 15 years, are they still going to actually physically hand out yearbooks, or if it's going to be
I don't know.
actual websites for actual, right on the wall of the yearbook instead of sign my yearbook.
Maybe on your iPad at that point, just flip open your iPad.
Yeah.
There's your yearbook each
Upload
year.
it.
I don't know.
I wouldn't see why they would still physically need a yearbook. I mean, I don't even remember where mine are.
It's interesting. They sold the company for $100 million, and about $13 million of that was in cash. The remaining
18
was
million.
18 million.
18 million was in
18
cash.
was in
Oh, I
cash.
remember something you didn't remember.
And the rest are in stock options in the company. So I hope that company explodes and they're going to be making a lot of money off it. And
Well, the article said that it was enough for them to quote unquote retire off of.
I don't know about that. I mean, I can't.
But I mean, if your company, they're still in college. The woman Catherine is still in college.
She's at Georgetown.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things she can still either want to start another business and have that money be.
And now she has the money to do it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is it's.
My boss's daughter actually came up with this genius idea, and it was a 5th grade project, and she took she made a double wand for mascara, and you would dip it, and it's for the working woman. So it was called the double M, and because I won't say her last name, but it was M and then mascara, so she called it the double M, and it was an M, and then you put the mascara on, and it's all done in one whack.
What do you do?
Did it really work, or was it?
I mean, what's this mascara?
Did it really work, or did
both
it?
eyes at the same time, so then
Did
it's
it work?
half the time, and it's more efficient.
Wow.
Did it work?
Well, it's not really. It's just a prototype. But
Patent.
it's things
Get
like
it
this
patent.
that are.
Get it patent.
No one steal that idea,
It's
everyone.
yeah,
I don't
on the
want.
web now. Patent it.
But it's little things like that that are just the genius moments that you
Yeah.
have, and kids have a lot of them.
Yeah, their mind runs wild with ideas. So
Who would have thought Twitter would have worked 10 years ago, if you asked me if Twitter would have worked when
Right.
they were started, I was laughing at it. I'm like, yeah, these
Well,
guys.
Facebook wasn't even
LOL,
around.
you know,
No one
fail.
knew the whole social thing was going to work 10 years. I mean,
I would have could have told you Facebook would work. I couldn't have told you Twitter would have worked. You know.
Yeah.
A bird? Come on.
tweet. All right, guys, thank you so much for coming on. And we'll be right back with another awesome segment of For Real.
For real.
For real. Yeah.
And welcome to another hilarious edition of For Real. This topic, I don't even, and I'm a big social media user, I don't get this. The Olympics is launching competitive tweeting for the 2012 Olympics. For real. Basically, it's not individual people tweeting, it's people backing up their country. So they use YouTube videos, Flickr photos. There's a hashtag that you have to use with the number 1 year to go, and then there's a 3-letter code for the country. And then they try to get most of the, see the top 20 countries who gets the most votes. There's countries in Africa that don't even have internet. How would they, they're in the Olympics, but how would they get their country supported? Like, I don't know.
The Olympics is about like the most athletic people on the planet, and then they're gonna dumb it down to thumbs and or the keyboard.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say dumb it down. I mean, they're just taking the athleticism right out of the Olympics.
Yeah, and I understand like wanting to do the fan base, and they're trying to get people more socially involved. But this, to me, I mean, it's just social media does not have to be a part of everything. Like, it's just I think this is taking it.
Yeah.
This is getting a little too much for real. Like,
I mean, for real, what's next? Like, who can post the most Facebook pictures and...
I think you're already winning in that category. I think you're already winning in that one. But I mean, I know that like the U.S. and Netherlands and Canada, Brazil, we're all in the lead, whatever. But I mean,
So it's the country as a whole.
Yep.
Everybody's competing together.
Yeah, it's like USA versus Britain or British or UK
So maybe
or
they're
whatever you
trying
want to
to
call
take-
them.
So maybe they're trying to take something that's so widely known and reuniting the couldn't together to compete, as a whole instead of in the individual sports.
I understand, but it's just I don't. No, this shouldn't.
I don't know.
Yeah,
For real?
for real. Just
There's so many other sports that you could have explored.
I know, like
Tweeting isn't even a sport.
it's a social.
Maybe that's why I don't do it, because I'm not athletic.
Okay, well, on that note, we'll be right back with the one-on-one with Eric Latender. And welcome back to the Strictly One-on-One. I am here with Eric Latender. Some of you may know him as the marketing pitbull. Eric, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thank you.
Where did the name come from, the marketing pitbull?
Well, I've been training dogs for 20 years, and I started off my first business. I started in 1995, and it was a dog training business. I did that until 2006. I sold the business, went into marketing full time, and I've always kind of used dog training analogies to help people with their marketing. And I also think people need like a pit bull mentality when it comes to running a business. So I came up with the name, the marketing pit bull.
So let's sidetrack back to try to know a little bit more about you. How did you get into the dog training business?
Well, I started working with dogs in 1988. Thanks. 1988. I worked canine security for 7 years, and I went in business for myself. And then after doing that for quite a while, I sold the business, as I said, and I went into marketing full time. So I have a long background working and training with dogs.
And then, how was the switch from owning a dog training business and going into per se the suits, like into marketing? How did that transition go?
That's a great question, because when I had my dog training business, I had a groomer that worked for me. I had a grooming business attached to it, and she worked for me. And what happened was that when she left, she took all the clients with her. And so I was in a really bad location. I had to get good at marketing to get people to come to me. So I developed a marketing system, and then I started showing other pet owners how to use it. And when I sold the business, I just decided to do marketing full time. I still run a dog training business, but it's online. It's all through the internet. I don't do any face-to-face dog training anymore, but we still sell DVDs, books, membership sites.
And you have a YouTube channel.
YouTube channel.
Yes. So how did the YouTube channel come about?
So when I was still training dogs, I thought, wow, this is great. It's back in 2007, 2006. YouTube was starting to get hot, and I figured I could get some customers this way. And so I was just trying to do it in a geographical area. And I actually, some of my videos on YouTube still have my phone number on it. I get calls from people in Indiana, and Wisconsin. They want to ask me dog training questions. So I just started it with the thought that I'm going to get customers in my area. But then what happened is I started getting a lot of views, and then more views. And I said, well, I got to start selling something here. Yeah. So I wrote a book, and I started selling the book through the internet.
Okay. So
via my YouTube channel.
So what kind of marketing do you do now?
So we do a lot of internet marketing, but we also, the big thing is we teach people how to do integrated marketing. We teach them how to integrate their offline marketing with their online marketing. Because right now, as you know, anything that has to do with the internet is hot. Social media, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah. But when I'm working with somebody with their marketing, I always tell them that ignoring direct mail, ignoring some of the other regular forms of advertising.
The old school ways.
Billboards.
Yeah. I wonder who does that.
Ignoring that is not good for their business.
Yeah.
And you still have to integrate the offline with the online marketing. Otherwise, you could have a tough time with it.
Yeah. So how long have you been doing just marketing for now?
Just marketing. Well, I started doing the marketing when I was running my dog training business. So I've been doing it full time for about 4 years. But I've been doing marketing for about 8-9 years.
So, which business is it easier for you to run, do you think? The dog training one or the marketing one?
Marketing.
I had to ask that. So, for people that are watching and they're thinking about transitioning through different careers, what advice do you have for them to kind of help them switch over to something they're really passionate about?
So let's say they were like designing websites and they wanted to
train dogs.
Train dogs.
Yes.
Recommend, find a good therapist. Get a big bottle of vodka. No. It's funny because we just met with somebody today that wants to transition from one type of business that she's into, working with dogs. And the big thing is you got to get help. You got to find out somebody that's successful in that field and just do what they do. That's what I always, I don't really have any creative or original thoughts when it comes to marketing. I just watch what everybody else does and kind of steal what they're doing. This isn't live, is it?
No.
No, okay, good. That's...
But they'll be watching it after.
Yeah, I know. Okay. They're going to say, that's my idea. You stole that from me. No, that's the big thing. So this person that came to me, she knew that I had an experience running a dog daycare. I ran a dog daycare. I had a dog training business, a grooming shop, a boarding kennel. So she came to me and she said, I want some more information. Can you help me out with this? Do you think it's a good idea? And so she's slowly taking the transition into this. But that's really what you have to do is you have to find somebody that's successful in the field and then just emulate what they're doing. And then get good at your marketing. Yep. You have to have, if you have customers constantly coming through the front door and giving you cash, as long as you have cash flow.
Or checks, as long as...
Or what?
Or checks, as long as you're getting
checks,
money, yeah.
Credit card, it's all good.
Yeah.
As long as your bank account's increasing every day.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the big thing, is marketing is key in any business, as you know.
Yeah.
Being a marketing guy.
Yeah. I try to be. So if they want to get more information on you, what's your website?
TheMarketingPitbull.com.
Check him out. Go to his YouTube page. If you have dogs, he does have a lot of great information. So Eric, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll be right back.